Juicy Fruit present for the next 30 minutes some of the greatest and biggest record sellers over the past 2 years. But first, a theme I'm sure you're all familiar with. And for such a spectacular show, we have two very spectacular people. Your old friends, your regular Juicy Fruit DJ, Lee Peters, and our guest DJ, Tommy Matz.
Boy, the Juicy Fruit Show never started like this before. Anyway, an intro like that makes it all worthwhile, just doesn't it? And we've got a great show with some of the greatest record sellers in the business and some great personalities, including lots of bright yellow packets of Juicy Fruit chewing gum, which appear to be all around the turntables. But then who can resist those delicious sticks of Juicy Fruit chewing gum? And talking of what's delicious, girls, here he is himself, the Tommy, the Vance.
Thanks a lot, Lee, and it's great to be here, good people. Starting off with a record that sold a million copies all over the world. With an international #1 sound. Lennon McCartney wrote it, also been recorded incidentally by the Von Tastics. This was the version that went to the top all around the world. The Beatles and a song called Day Tripper.
Don't tell me. Now, let me guess. That was, now I guess it, well, I think it was it John, Paul, George and Ringo?
Oh, dear sir or madam, as the case may be, you've just won first prize in the Juicy Fruit Pick-Apart contest.
Oh, lovely.
And you can choose, between a tour of the Battersea Gas Works.
Ooh.
Or an exciting course on how to tell the sheep from the goats from the sheep and the Shetland show in December. And incidentally, bring your own skis.
Oh, can't I just have a bright yellow packet of Juicy Fruit chewing gum?
Why?
Why? Because with that fruity flavor, your taste buds are really on a joyride.
No, keep the Juicy Fruit for after show. But right now, in the show, here's Tony Hatch.
Hello there, this is Tony Hatch. And it gives me very great pleasure to be here on this show. And I want to introduce a song that not only did a lot for me, it's just one of those lucky things that happens to a writer, but did a lot too for a young lady who's a very good friend of mine, and we've worked together a lot, Miss Petula Clark. Now, you know the song, it's Downtown.
Fabulous sound there, everybody, of a song that sold a million copies and more around the world. That, of course, was who else but Miss Petula Clark and a song called Downtown.
And here's something else has been selling.
Juicy Fruit adds to your fun. It's a hit with everyone. Fine fruit flavor, what a treat. Makes your mouth feel fresh and sweet. Juicy Fruit adds to your fun. Juicy Fruit chewing gum.
Treat yourself to Juicy Fruit chewing gum and give your taste a joyride. Juicy Fruit's got a tingling, fresh fruit flavor that lasts mouth-wateringly longer. New, exciting Juicy Fruit chewing gum in the bright yellow packet, 6pence.
Juicy Fruit adds to your fun. It's a hit with everyone. Fine fruit flavor, what a treat. Makes your mouth feel fresh and sweet. Juicy Fruit adds to your fun. Juicy Fruit chewing gum.
Take some with you wherever you go.
Well, here's something you don't know, Lee. I just sent out for some Juicy Fruit, and it should be here. Well, it should be here now. Oh, I see it's here. Well, next time, I swear, I'm going to do my own sound effects. You bruised your thumbs doing that.
Ow!
Come in. It's incidentally now time on the Juicy Fruit Show to listen to that famous Juicy Fruiter, Eric Burden.
Oh, Tommy, this is Eric Burden. I'd like to thank you for asking me to come to the show. I'd like to play a record now which was a big part of me, and it's sort of part of my sort of small history of music, because it was the first record that got us any airtime anywhere and allowed us to go to America and see the things I wanted to see. And it's called House of the Rising Sun.
It's when he's on drugs.
And that was the Animals number.
The House of the Rising Sun. I want a fabulous record.
Yeah, but just about the longest pop ever made, I think.
I think it's a great record.
Now, look, Tommy, look, it's nice to have you here, but please try to keep stum when I'm nattering.
Well, look, I might say the same thing to you.
Well, on a Juicy Fruit Show, you wouldn't dare.
Oh, wouldn't I?
No.
Now, you look here, Lee. It's nice to have you here, but please try to keep stump when I'm nattering.
Now, look here. Is nothing sacred? It's a good job I've got my Juicy Fruit chewing gum to keep me calm. Now, if you're a good lad, Tommy, and put the next disc on nicely, I might even give you a stick.
Anything for Juicy Fruit. Talking about good things like Juicy Fruit, here's a former hit by the Monkees. Oh, a great little bit of music there, Lee.
I want you to know you played it so beautifully, Tommy.
Oh, thank you, Lee. You know something? I owe it all to Juicy Fruit chewing gum in the bright yellow package. Hey, was that you?
It was not. I've given them up.
Well, you better go back to them, because the Diddy people are coming. I'd like to say how terribly tattifularious and awfully plumptious it is to be with you, and how completely discomnockerated I am that you've just played my Diddy disc. Yes.
Well, we're glad to, Dottie. How are things with you otherwise?
Well, things in naughty Nashville, well, things are booming at the Pickle Onion Factory, and all our other industries, all the Diddy men, they're working overtime. They really are. They're all working overtime in Naughty Ash. At the snuff quarry, they're exporting Naughty Ash snuff by the hooterful for all the crowned noses of the world. And the Jambutti mines and the Broken Biscuit Repair Works, they're working, the Pancake Factory's working flat out. And at the Naughty Ash Laundry, all the Diddy men are all running round Naughty Ash Laundry saying, "Where's my shirt? I'm a shirt short. I can't find my shirt anywhere."
Ah, well, funny you should mention that, because just down the road there's a couple of short shirts just waiting for a little hairy man with a tickling stick.
Oh, yes, indeedy. We're here at the moment at the Fun Factory, the Palladium, and the show's going great. So if you'd like to come along and be tickled sometime, please be my guest. We've got a great show. We've got the Bell Cannon Trio, the Piero Brothers, the Goofers, Rosemary Squires, and, of course, the Bluebell Girls, who are all Diddy ladies of about 6 foot high each. The Diddy men are here in person, and at the moment, tonight, I'm introducing a new song, which just happens to be my latest record, which is released next week, called Mine. So if Mine is as successful as Tears, you know, I shall be completely tattifularious and absolutely discomnockerated.
I'm sure we'll all be absolutely discomnockerated, Dottie.
So there you are. And so to all the Diddy people listening, I'd like to say tatty-bye, everybody. Tatty-bye.
Tatty-bye, Dottie-o.
Thank you very much. What a nice chap this is. I do hope they give him a lot more work.
Yes, tatty-bye, tatty-bye. Yeah. Hey, Tommy, have you seen my bright yellow packet?
No, did you have any?
Well, of course I did. It was right here when Dottie... Oh, so that's it. I thought his tickling stick bag was a bit lumpy when he went. He's nicked all me juicy fruit chewing gum, the rubbing duddy.
Hey, he's had mine too.
What?
Well, we're both in the same boat. Well, we're more or less without a boat now, without a stick of juicy fruit chewing gum.
Ah, well, there won't be anyone in the boat soon anyway. Where will we get our satisfaction then, kiddies?
How about the Rolling Stones?
Oh, fabulous disc, if ever I heard one. I'm glad the Rolling Stones got over their bit of bother, aren't you, Tommy?
I am really, honestly relieved about that, but it's getting a little bit quiet around here now.
Well, yeah, that's true. But never mind, maybe we'll have a happening soon. Let's hope it's something as good as the fruity...
Juicy.
Long-lasting...
luscious
flavour of juicy fruit chewing gum.
Did you give him one?
Give him one? What?
A bright yellow package of juicy fruit chewing gum.
You only said that because it's easier to say juicy fruit chewing gum than Engelbert Humperdinck.
How did you guess? Can I play the disc now?
Yes, but only if you can say it.
Okay, here's Dinky Hoomp Bertley
You mean Bertie Hump Engeldink?
No, I don't. I mean Hinkle Doom...
look, somebody get us out of this. And who better than Engelbert Humperdinck?
My latest release is a number called The Last Waltz, which was written by Les Reed and arranged by Les Reed. And I'm hoping it has the same effect as my very first one, which, of course, was Release Me.
My darling, let me go.
I'm going to get everybody singing that wonderful song called Release Me.
And I want to tell you now, in answer to a fantastic number of requests...
Yeah, from the man right there in the Goldfish Bowl, namely our producer, Bob Brooksby.
Yes, no, from...
from our sponsor?
No, look, do me a favor, pipe down, Tommy. I only want to tell them the secret of juicy fruit chewing gum.
Yeah.
Juicy fruit adds to your fun. It's with everyone. Fine fruit flavor, what a treat. Makes your mouth feel fresh and sweet.
Take some with you wherever you go.
Let me guess. It's fruity, juicy, and long-lasting.
Yes, but that's not all.
No. What else then?
Well, look, tell you what, Tommy, here's a tanner. After the show, go and buy yourself... I said after the show! Oh, charming, isn't it? I'll bet he'll be back. Anyway, it gives me a chance to play the one that everyone was singing not so long ago, me included.
Ever since that night, we've been together.
Doo and all that. Oh, yeah, I'm so glad that one made the chart. It's a beautiful melody, isn't it?
Hey, Lee, let me get some.
You got some what?
Some juicy fruit chewing gum.
Well, good. I tell you what, Tommy, the mic is yours. Tell us all about it, eh?
Fabulous, groovy, out of sight, uptight, marvelous, and on top of that...
Yeah, but that's enough. Now, don't get the wind up. It's only Gary Brooker from the Procol Harum.
This is Gary Brooker from Procol Harum. It's a very sad day. I'd like to say thank you to everybody concerned with Radio London, as they were the first ever to play our record. And we know that the name will live on as long as the station's been going. So let's just hear a strange sound one more time.
He said the title for you, Whiter Shade of Pale from the Procol Harum. And that's one that we'll remember at home and we'll go on playing. Another thing that we'll remember wherever we are.
Juicy fruit adds to your fun. It's a hit with everyone. Fine fruit flavor, what a treat. Makes your mouth feel fresh and sweet. But I feel I'll soon find out. I'm sure never felt this secure.
And there goes a group. We were very fortunate to hear their first record on Radio London called Groovin', and that was their first big smash in England. That one's going to be another big follow-up. A Girl Like You. In London, we'll be hearing our final newscast of the day with our news director, Paul Kay.
Wonderful Radio London, news around the clock.
Dateline Monday, August the 14th. Southwest France. There have been more earth tremors and children and old people have been evacuated from the Arret area. Bulldozers are doing their best to sort out the debris of collapsed buildings. The tremors are reported to have been felt as far away as Bordeaux. The Congo, where a mob in Kishanzi ransacked the Belgian embassy there. Furniture was thrown out into the street and burnt on the pavement. An American who lives next to the embassy was beaten up by the mob. The riot is said to be in protest against the activities of white mercenaries in the Congo. Vietnam. And reports of a series of air attacks by American aircraft on targets in North Vietnam that were only 10 miles from the border with China. President Johnson's critics in the States have used these raids to accuse him of warmongering and playing with fire. Uxbridge. Television personality Michael Miles pleaded guilty to charges of drunkenness at Heathrow Airport when he appeared before the bench at Uxbridge. He was fined a total of £16. Cricket. And the weather has once again beaten both sides in the test match at Trent Bridge. There were large pools of water all over the pitch, and some of them were close to the wicket itself. However, it's not raining there at the moment, and the players took an early lunch. And unfortunately, at this time, we can't say the next news on Radio London will be heard at, so we just go to... Sad to think that that is the last newscast from Radio London, the station that started the first ever offshore news service. I hope it has been a service, and that I will once again be able to say, Paul Kay reporting.
Don't ruin your hair with messy grease.
You're a natural.
Or make it dry and dull with water.
Keep your hair in place today.
Use Vitalis, the hairdressing that's clear, clean, and natural.
Use Vitalis. You're a natural. Keep your hair in place today.
Vitalis Secret. It's the only hairdressing with invisible B7.
Keep your hair in place today.
Do your hair a favor.
Greetings to Mrs. Keith Skews, and saying, rather sadly for the second time around, goodbye. It was only some 3 weeks ago that I said cheerio before I went off on holiday, and now, having returned today and duly been suntanned on both my left and right kneecap, I find that the Marine Offences Bill is about to become law. The Marine Offences Bill which forbids British subjects to serve on offshore radio stations. 15th of August 1967 is indeed a very black, a sad day in offshore history. During the past 3 years, the pace and interest in radio has more than trebled, and the sales of radios have quadrupled. offshore has been directly responsible. Offshore radio, that is. Over the past 3 years, a large number of pop stars have been born and a number of new record companies launched. Moreover, the listeners, you at home, have been well satisfied with the sounds emanating from your radio sets. Well, I briefly would just like to express my sincere thanks to Philip Birch, our managing director, and also to Alan Keane, the program director. Alan, incidentally, who doesn't want his name mentioned. And to all the Radio London staff at 17 Curzon Street, as indeed to the captain and crew of the MV Galaxy, the disc jockeys, and the engineers. And we mustn't forget the cook as well on board. All have helped to make 1966 and 1967 very happy years in the life of one Richard Keith Skews. And I'd like to thank you at home, the listeners to Radio London, most sincerely for being absolutely wonderful and for allowing me to lurk locally inside your radio sets. Well, Keith Skews signing off now, wishing you everything you wish yourselves.
Have you ever been? Have you ever been? Well, needless to say, you're okay with wonderful Radio London.
You're listening to the final minutes in the life of Radio London and to the voices of DJs, past and present.
Hi, good people. This is TV on Radio Tommy Vance. Although I've only been associated with Radio London for something like 2 weeks, I feel as sad as everybody else that is coming off the air. It's been a part of an era that has proved something in broadcasting, especially in the United Kingdom. I've had a wonderful time, and I know you have by virtue of seeing all your letters that have come into Radio London. I only hope in the future something else is going to come along that's going to be just as good and just as wonderful. But I also hope you will never really ever forget Radio London. So for the final time, this is TV on Radio, Tommy Vance saying specifically to all of you good, loyal Radio London listeners out there, goodbye.
Thank you very much, Tommy. And indeed, many of the people who will be sad to lose Radio London are the people who have been able to sell their products over our station. We talk about the advertisers. We've had advertisers who've had serious commercials, funny commercials, and catchy musical jingles. And our last commercial on Radio London is one of those catchy musical jingles, Consulate Cigarettes.
Get the new idea in smoking. Come in on the move to Menthol Fresh Consulate. Consulate combines menthol freshness with rich Virginia tobacco and a firm white filter. Menthol Fresh. Cool, fresh Consulate. Cool as a mountain stream. By Rothmans of Pall Mall.
Hi there, this is Dusty Springfield on Radio London. And I suppose it's sort of sad, really, saying a goodbye to all the people who listen to Radio London. That's millions and millions, I'm sure. And I hope it won't be too long before we're all again listening to Big L. I want to thank everybody there for being so kind to me and playing my records. And my mum said this morning, actually, I was talking to her, said she doesn't quite know what she's going to do. She said she'd go potty without Radio London. So best wishes to everybody. And let's hope that we'll all be listening again pretty soon. Bye-bye, and thanks.
Left alone with just a
And thank you, Dusty. You don't have to say you love me. Well, what more can I say? It's time for me to say goodbye. When I think back to about 2.5 years ago when I arrived back in England from Hong Kong, a penniless bass player and a hick jock, and then Radio London gave me the chance to come into your homes, which has been the most wonderful thing in the last 2 years. It's given me the chance to meet Myrtle, get a name of Stewpot. In fact, it's given me a complete life for 2 whole years as I've been out here on the ship, and I wouldn't have missed it for the world. And now I want to say hi to somebody who's become such a huge name on Radio London, right around the country, Tom Jones.
I've been in love so many times.
So there we go, Tom Jones, I'll Never Fall in Love Again. And Tom, since you had your first hit with us here on Radio London, it's not unusual. And right up till I'll Never Fall in Love Again, you've been wonderful.
This is Ringo, and I'm just saying cheerio to all you Radio London listeners, because as you know, we're going off the air. It's a bit of a pity, and the radio will never be the same, but it's one of those things. Cheerio.
Some mention has been made of the fact that mine was the first voice to be heard on Radio London. It will also be the last in regrettably few minutes from now. But before that, please allow me to introduce the Managing Director of Radio London, Mr. Philip Birch.
It was just 3 years ago this month that the idea for Radio London was born. 4 months after that time, Radio London was on the air. And 4 months after that, national opinion polls showed that it had millions of listeners. Now it's to end. During the past 3 years, I feel that Radio London has done very little harm, but an awful lot of good. During those 3 years, it's helped organizations such as the Institute for the Blind, Oxfam, the Cancer Fund, the Lifeboat Service, to raise funds for their very worthwhile causes. It saved the life of an airman who bailed out of over the North Sea and was picked up by Radio London's tender. In closing, Radio London would like to give very special thanks to Lord Denham, who fought our case in the House of Lords, and to Lord Arran for all of his help. To the Shadow Postmaster General, Paul Bryan, to Ian Gilmore and the other MPs who stood up in the House of Commons and fought our case. I would like to give my personal thanks to all of the staff at 17 Curzon Street, to all of the DJs, to Captain Bunninger and his crew, to the 1,027 advertisers who have supported Radio London in the last 3 years and used Radio London to help sell their products. But most of all, I'd like to thank you, one of the 12 million listeners in the UK and the 4 million listeners in Holland, France, Belgium, Germany, and the other countries on the continent, for all of the support that you have given Radio London during the last 3 years. If during that time Radio London has brought a little warmth, a little friendliness, a little happiness in your life, then it's all worthwhile. As one listener put it, the world will get by without Big L, but I'm not sure that it will be a better place. Thank you.
I read the news today.
Big L time is 3 o'clock and Radio London is now closing down.